What's up, you Nancy Drews? Terrence Popp here, Redonkulas.com. As you may know, I fancy myself as some type of writer. I have had a philosophy book on Kindle for almost 10 years now, and it was called The Warrior's Way and the Soldier's Soul. And I will admit, when I read that book nowadays, it drives me to drink. That doesn't really take much, but that book needed a better editor, what can I say? And for this next set of books, I did just that. I got a professional editor, and I have to say, it worked out pretty good. So if you're interested, Jericho Files Book 1, Killer of Killers, is on Kindle now. Links in the description. This is a fictional book, and it's about a psychic who hunts serial killers. There are some supernatural aspects to the story, but from what I hear, people are reading it at supernatural speeds. So if that sounds like it's your bag, links in the description, and it is free for Amazon Prime for the next several months. And to give you a taste, because some of you out there don't like to swallow, even though you should, Blake is going to read you a chapter right now.
Good and evil. The dance of the universe is a delicate balance that must be kept. Where there's good, there'll be evil. Where there's evil, there must be good. The universe will tolerate nothing less. Evil never sleeps nor rests. It takes no prisoners and has no mercy. It only negotiates for position and bides its time until it can utterly destroy those in its path. What is typically spoken about this eternal conflict is that good is stronger than evil. This is untrue. The two forces are equally matched, and evil doesn't only fight good, it fights evil as well. Evil does not play well with others and by its very nature attacks the weak, even if weakness is within its own ranks. There's an instrument that the universe uses to bring back into balance the light and the darkness. Thomas Maxwell Belial is that instrument. He's not much to look at first glance. Just a face in the crowd, a slow, drowning mouth breather in the sea of mediocrity. Another bland visage of a man who doesn't merit a second glance. But the bottom of the resume pile is not where the story ends. It's where the story begins. Below the surface of Thomas Maxwell Belial, deep under his skin, carved on the walls of his soul and burned into his heart, the real story is written. Once upon a time, there was a boy whose closest friends were the spirits of the dead. They weren't the stereotypical specters and monsters that merely haunt the nightmares of most. These spirits were as real to Tom as the flesh and blood creatures of the world, and that suited Tom just fine. It was his normal. An introvert to begin with, he didn't entirely notice or mind when he unknowingly crept into the world of the weird and became an outcast in the eyes of most who came into contact with him. During his childhood, he was often ostracized, and because of this, he grew to be content to be by himself. He learned to feel at home on the darker side of the world, a place where his spirit companions could tell him where to find his lost toy, or tell him who just tripped him on the school bus, or tell him there was another child just around the corner heading toward him at a dead run and clutching open scissors. Thomas was formed and forged into a unique man, a soldier, spy, assassin, psychic, remote viewer, and a hunter of evil. Most are unaware of the raging battle of good and evil being waged around them every moment of the day. But for those finding themselves immersed in evil and stuck behind enemy lines in the blackest heart of darkness, Thomas Maxwell Belial is the light at the end of the tunnel. When the love of God has abandoned a person, all hope seems lost, and all a person loves is on the verge of destruction or the gaping edge of oblivion, one would accept no substitutes. Thomas Maxwell Belial is the demon who fights the evil, the thing that monsters dread, the thing that stalks the shadows with abandon. If fate has been kind to troubled souls, Thomas Maxwell Belial has already set out on his way to complete his grim work for their benefit. He pulls those troubled souls from the pit of despair, rescues the lost from the black maw of evil, and at times beats back death itself on their behalf. As for those who have stood in his way, if they saw anything at all, it was the flash of Thomas Maxwell Belial's eyes as he hurled them into oblivion.